Hi guys, William Morris here, and today we're going to be taking a look at sounds from Hell, Ambience, and Underscores from Red Room Audio. So this library is made for the full version of Kontakt 5.8.1 on above, and it has an install size of just over 15 gigabytes. It's currently on an intro price of $79 US, which will later change to $99. So the library consists of these four main patches. We have drones, pads, pulses, and soundscapes. The UI over here does change a little bit depending on which of the four patches we have loaded, but overall it's been kept quite simple, and there are definitely some useful controls in the UI. But if you're not a fan of running these type of libraries within Kontakt, you can also just access all the separate WAV files as well, which have been provided, which is always nice to see in these more kind of sound design based libraries. So as the name of the library suggests, a lot of these sounds are geared towards darker kind of genres like horror, thriller, etc. So let's start by listening to some of the soundscape patches. So we have two banks of sounds on this first patch. You can change the bank just using the red key switch here. So that's bank 1, and we have a bank 2 as well. So you get quite a few sounds in each category. You can see the waveforms are pretty long, and most of the sounds do sort of slowly evolve and change over the course of the waveform. So a nice little feature of the UI is the ability to favorite some of your sounds that you kind of select down here. So say I selected this one, I can then just go up to the little fire symbol here, click it, and you'll see the key turn yellow, which just means it's been favorited. And that'll be saved for next time I load the patch in as well. So I'll just take that one off now, and let's listen to some of the sounds in bank 2. So there we go, that's just a bit of a selection from the two banks we have for the soundscape category. On the UI for this one, we also have the ability to change the start and end time of our sample. You can also change the direction of the audio. We can repitch up here. There's a simple volume pan and a filter section, and our ADSR here, as well as the last bit, which is just a simple gate, and we have some rate controls And if we turn on the sync for that, we can also do it in like 8ths or 16ths, etc. There's also an arpeggiator built in. So between the rhythm section and the gator, you have a couple of options for adding some kind of rhythmic interest to the patches. Pretty much all of the patches also come with this effects rack on the second tab. These are all pretty self-explanatory, just the kind of effect stuff from Kontakt, but it's nice to have it there included if you want to use it. Okay, so let's move on and jump into some of the pulses. So for the pulse patch here, they've added an octave control, so you can go one down or one up, and a speed control, so you can half time, normal or double. And all of these rhythmic ones will sync to host tempo as well. The only other difference with this patch is that you can change the note center that the pulse is around. So these default to C, but I could play a pulse like this. And change the key center throughout. Okay, so let's have a listen to a few more of these pulses. Oh, so it seems like there's no actual waveform loaded for that one. Bit of a bug. But as you could hear, they've all got this kind of quite driving, brooding, aggressive sort of edge, which is perfect for the genre. And although it is rhythmic, a lot of the rhythms seem sort of quite simple, you know, kind of straight 16ths or 8 note sort of pattern stuff, which is probably for the best because it's probably then going to be a little bit easier to fit into your compositions. And as this is more of an underscore library, it's not generally meant to be the focus of the track anyway. These are sort of more elements to sit underneath some of your main instrumentation. So let's have a listen to the next bank. It's cool, I like that one. So let's do another bank. There's 4 banks for this one, so loads of sounds again. Might be nice to kind of organize these a little bit more, as there are quite a few sounds. So it could have been that the bass heavy sounds were sort of in the lower registers, and then as we move up we get some of the more, you know, like the ticking sounds and that kind of thing. Yeah, cool, there's some nice stuff in there. Let's just do one more bank of these and then we'll move on to the next patch. So here's bank 3. nice like that. Cool, so that's the pulses. I think for most people this might become the kind of main draw for the library. I'd say it's probably one of the more interesting categories. But let's move on and take a listen to some pads. So these are just playable. They're mapped per key, and then you can change what the actual patch is just from this drop-down list. And as you can see again, we do get lots and lots and lots, which is nice to have variation, but sometimes I do prefer libraries that are a little bit more sort of curated. I think going through there are maybe a few that are kind of veering towards the area of filler. Let's just pick a few from random and have a listen. So these work as chords, or they work as kind of octaves or that kind of thing. They're much more tonal than the soundscapes category. So yeah, hopefully you get the idea on those. I think overall it's a useful category. It might be nice to have some more kind of organic sounds in there, because a lot of them seem to be on more of a electronic kind of synthy vibe. One more sort of slightly hidden feature of the UI is just this tiny little switch down here, which turns off this UI panel. So you change it to that, and then you have to reset the patch. And this is kind of cool for people working on, like a laptop or smaller screens, and we can change it back just by doing the reverse. Okay, so let's do the last category, and that's some drones. I think we have 3 or 4 banks of these, and we also move back to the key switch thing to change the key center. So for example, I think with the drones, it's probably one way you're just going to want to set it to the root key and then leave it going in the background. But it's nice that you can do those smooth changeovers in between if you want it to be more sort of following a chord pattern or something. So yeah, let's take a listen to a few more of these. Just going to turn the volume up on these because for some reason they're quite a lot quieter than the other patches. That's just a few from bank 1. Let's take a look into bank 2. Okay, so let's just do one more bank of these. Okay guys, so I think that's about it for all the patches. I think overall there's some really nice stuff in here. I think I'd prefer maybe a more stripped down library that was a bit more curated. I do feel like maybe I'm searching through quite a lot of patches to find the sort of really good ones in there. But there's definitely some nice stuff, especially in the pulses category. And it's all kind of been bundled together as a useful toolkit at a really good price as well. I'd have loved maybe some kind of more organic sounds as well, as I think some of the stuff tends to be a bit synthier and on the electronic side. And I know Red Room Audio before have done a lot of really nice kind of organic libraries. So, you know, I'd love to see maybe more tortured string sounds, some mangled cellos and violins and stuff like that. I think again they've done a really nice job on the UI. It's simple, it's clean, it's got all the controls you need without too much kind of extra stuff getting in your way. The ability to favorite your sounds is really nice, and I really love the simple key switching system going through the banks and then being able to change the key center for everything as well. It's definitely the way I like to see these libraries done. Okay guys, so I think that about wraps it up from me. Hope you've enjoyed this review and walkthrough. If you do like this library, there's also another Sounds from Hell pack accompanying it, which is kind of more hits and impacts. And they've obviously been made to kind of work together really well. Do let me know if you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments. But if not, I'll see you again on the next one.